everyone, it's Ashley with Going Crochetzy, and for today I'm doing something completely different than I have ever done before, and it is going over some of these crochet kits. So my son and I were just in the Dollar Tree the other day, and we discovered that they have these really sweet little crochet kits. And so we picked 3 different kits out. They have others as well. So we picked out this donut. Owen wants to try out this one on his own. So he's very new to crochet. He learned how to do a chain stitch last July, and he made these fun little things, but that's really all he's done with crochet. So I'm definitely going to be assisting him on this project. But he also picked out these 2 as well because he wants to keep them for himself after I have completed crocheting them. So I thought it would be fun to see if these kits are worth it or not. I don't really have too big high expectations for these kits since they were only $1.25 at the Dollar Tree. As you can see right there, $1.25 for a kit. And the kits are supposedly coming with everything that you need, just like any other crochet kit that you may find in the store. They have different brands. They have the Woobles brand, which is the original, I believe, and more expensive. And then they have other off brands like Loops and Threads has some, Joann's used to have one, and all of that. So this is just the Dollar Tree version of it. And so each kit includes a plastic needle, yarn, stuffing, crochet hook, and plastic beads. I think the plastic beads meaning their eyes. And as you can see right here, they have everything in there that you need. And so the instructions are also in there. And so I'm excited to give this a try and see if it actually has enough yarn to do it, has enough of the stuffing to do it, if the hook is decent, if the eyes are decent, all of the above, and if the pattern actually turns out to look like this. And so yeah, I'm going to do these 2. And then Owen's going to work on the donut with me. So that will probably take a few days of him working through that. Like I said, I'm probably going to do 90% of the work, and he's just going to join me for practice, and we will see how these work. So I think I'm going to try out the panda first. I actually picked the panda out of all of the options. I picked the panda, and then he picked the donut and the cactus. They also had a bee, they had a dinosaur, and I think a couple others, but I can't remember what they were. But yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and get started. So I'm gonna sit back, relax, hang out, and I'll come on off and on with you guys so that you can see what's inside the kit. And I'll just kind of give you some information as I go and show you the finished projects and all of that. So let's get started. So I'm opening up this panda kit first. I haven't taken anything out yet, but I did open it. First impression, I'm not sure this is going to be enough stuffing unless this project is very small. That doesn't seem like quite enough stuffing, so we'll see. I don't know if I'm going to use extra stuffing to really make it come out right, or if I'm just going to use the exact stuffing that they call for. Maybe it's compressed down more, since it does feel like it does feel pretty firm. So we'll find out when it comes time that we need the stuffing. These are my own scissors. They did not come with scissors. This is the instructions, so I won't give that away too much, but it does have picture instructions, which is nice. There's the safety eyes, the embroidery floss, and a needle. I do notice that there is no stitch marker in here, so I figured there would be a stitch marker that came with it, but I guess not. There's this plastic hook, and there is no sizing on the hook, but I feel like that looks about to be a G hook to me, like a 4mm maybe, if not a little bit smaller. And then here is the yarn. So 2 colors for this yarn. First impression of this yarn, it is pretty soft. but I feel like there's not very much there. So this is going to be quite a small project, I am assuming, based off of the size of the eyes and the amount of yarn. So that is everything that comes in the kit, and let's go ahead and get crocheting. So I just opened up the instructions and started doing the instructions at the beginning. It has this nice diagram of what each stitch is supposed to look like, how to do them, and it has each of the chain, the decrease, the single crochet, the double crochet, and everything like that. So it gives you a good diagram of what those are supposed to be. So that is nice, but I've already noticed a discrepancy in the pattern. So of course, it has the pictures, which is helpful. It's a step-by-step guide of all of the pictures. There's 12 pictures just for the first 6 rounds of the project, which is really good. Lots of detail in those pictures, but the wording is a little off. It's kind of hard to understand, especially if you are a beginner. It seems a little kind of hard to understand. First impressions of the yarn, it's very stretchy yarn, and the cinch of the magic ring is pretty nice. This project I think is going to be one of the more advanced projects of these. They don't have any level of these. It's just a crochet kit. They don't have a level of what level you should be at to crochet them, but I mean, you can kind of see by the pictures that this is going to be a little bit more intricate of a pattern than the others. But it starts you off right at making a magic ring. The hook is a little bit bendy, and but it's working nice. It's gliding nicely, but it does feel a little bendy to me. But of course, this is only $1.25 for this kit. So far, I feel like so good. I just did my magic ring, and I'm gonna keep going. But yeah, the wording is a little hard to understand. But I'm gonna keep going through it. Maybe it's meant to be that way for a beginner, but for me, it's kind of hard to understand. So I'm wondering if the pictures would be helpful enough to help the person who is learning how to crochet, because I feel like these kits are more for people that are learning to crochet, or maybe they're just meant for people that have already started to crochet and they just want to keep working through it, because yeah, the words are difficult, but it does give you refer to this image, refer to that image, which is nice. So I'm going to continue to work on this, and I'll get back to you once I have the panda's head, because that's the first part, is making the panda's head. This one does involve color changing, so this is definitely one of the more advanced projects out of all 3 of them that I have so far. Okay, so I am officially this far into the head. I will be closing it up in the next round, I believe. But as you can see, this is what it looks like. Now it is telling me I need to insert the eyes and then stuff or fiberfill and shape it by hand. But it doesn't specify exactly where to add the eyes. And it also doesn't show you on the image where to add the eyes, unless it's on the back. Okay, hold on. Okay, it shows you kind of on the back, but it doesn't really explain it too well. Some discrepancies I've noticed in this pattern are, it tells you to use a stitch marker, but it doesn't provide you with a stitch marker, even though it shows it in the images that they have a blue stitch marker. Of course, you can just use yarn for your stitch marker, no big deal, but it doesn't tell you that in the pattern. And it doesn't really tell me where to place my eyes, so I'm just going to look at the picture here to place my eyes, and it's just right in the black section of the face. These eyes are teeny tiny, but they have a nice thick back to them. I swear the rod for them is thicker than the actual eye itself. So let's see how good they snap into place. Let's see how firm that is in place. Yeah, that's actually pretty secure. So I'm happy with the eyes. So you see how tiny that tip is, or the point of the eye is, and then how thick the backing is on it. So I'll put this one back in there and add this. It doesn't have a really good snap pop sound, you know, like when you have that really satisfying snap in place sound when you use the safety eye. It doesn't have that sound to it, but they seem to be quite secure. And now I'm opening up my polyfill. Yeah, see, it's fluffing out some. And the project, oh, I actually don't mind the feel of this polyfill too. It seems like a fairly good quality polyfill. And so I'm just going to stuff his little head here. He is going to be tiny. The yarn is nice and stretchy. I do notice within the first couple of rounds though, that it easily splits on you. But I mean, this is $1.25. So I'm not expecting, you know, the best quality of anything here. And so far it's turning out pretty cute, and pretty good. Those eyes are definitely nice and secure, so I like that. So here we go, we have the little head. So I'm gonna finish shaping up the head. I'm gonna close the head up, and then next in the pattern is to make the body. It looks like you start a new round to make the body. And then it looks like you're going to sew those two pieces together. So it does show you color changing. So it's the color red for black yarn, and then the rest is printed in black ink for the white colored yarn. For the body though, okay, so it looks like you start the body in white and then it tells you when to switch to black. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna continue on. This is it so far. It's so teeny tiny. It is a very fuzzy yarn, but I do like how it stretches. It's very stretchy, so you can kind of play with it a little bit better. And so yeah, I'm going to continue making the head, and I will get back to you once I have some more of this guy done. Okay guys, I am back, and I wanted to give you the notes that I have for the panda before I show it. So I did have extra yarn, not very much white was left, so if you mess up, you're probably not going to have enough to finish the project. And I had a bit more of the black left. I did try to use the embroidery floss for the nose, and it was so thin and there wasn't enough of it and it didn't look good. So I ended up having to use some of the black yarn for the nose, and the nose doesn't look right. It didn't come out triangular like I was hoping it would, but whatever. This is how he turned out. I do want to note the yarn is very fuzzy looking for the project, and it's very fuzzy. So it doesn't look as clean as it could be. I feel like, and like you can see the nose, how fuzzy the nose is. The more you work with the yarn, the fuzzier it seems to get, which is kind of a downfall for that for the yarn. I would say that's probably a quality thing for that yarn. And I did actually have extra polyfill, so that's cool that there was more than enough polyfill. And the crochet hook was fine. I didn't have any issues with that, but as you can see, the needle is like toast. The tip is broken. It's just about ready to break. Any more use out of this and it's done. So the needle itself wasn't very good, and there was no stitch marker as it had noted to use in the pattern. It did call to slip stitch after every round. I didn't do that. I just did a continuous round like most amigurumi is. and it also had a couple typos in it. There was one major typo in the pattern under the legs, I believe. No, under the hand. Under the hand, it has a decrease round for six stitches, and then it says to decrease 6 times to equal six stitches total, which makes no sense. It wouldn't work. So that was a pretty major typo. But yeah, I mean, in the long run, for $1.25, does it look completely like the project? No. Is that because I messed up on the nose? Possibly. But here is the picture of the project. It's nice and clean looking, no fuzzes. And this has a ton of fuzzies everywhere. It is cute and cuddly and little, and it would be a good project to have for someone who has some experience within crochet. This particular one, this bear, I feel like would definitely be more of an intricate project versus some of the others that you can purchase. So it would be definitely for someone who has knowledge in crochet, or if you're gifting it to someone that has someone that can help them along the way, because the pattern can be a little bit confusing, especially with the typos in it, and the yarn is tiny and everything else. So if you have someone that knows how to read a pattern, and you know how to do like sewing and everything is okay. The sewing details on this are very nondescript. It basically says sew ears to head, sew legs to the body, sew the mouth to the face. Like, it doesn't have a very specific places of how to sew anything on, so that makes it a little bit more difficult as well. But you know, in the long run, it's cute. I'm not really happy with my nose, but that's a me problem, not necessarily the pattern's problem. And I guess for $1.25, it's definitely worth it. You have enough yarn and polyfill to finish the entire project with a little bit left over. Yeah, if you do mess up, you might not have enough to finish it. I am going to do the cactus and see if that one turns out, if it seems a little bit easier than this one. I would definitely rate this one as an advanced beginner project, just because of all the itty bitty little pieces and the sewing and everything else. I'll let you guys know how the cactus one turns out, if there's any typos in that. And of course, the donut I will be doing with my son, and I will give you guys some information on that one as well. So I probably won't do the cactus until tomorrow, so I'll see you guys. It is time to open up this cactus and get started on this project. So same as the other ones, you have your written and picture instructions here. There's a little bit of this pink polyfill, the hook. Once again, no stitch marker, but you have your needle, the eyes, and a little bit of embroidery floss to add the details. And this one comes with the green for the pot and the brighter green for the cactus itself. Oh, and look at that. There's a little bit more pink in here. I was wondering about the pink because I knew this wasn't going to be enough. So a little bit of pink here as well. So we have 4 different colors in this pack: the hook, the polyfill, and the little details here. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this one off camera, and I'll come back to talk to you guys about it. So we have finally finished all of our projects. So I finished off the cactus. So this is how the cactus went. I didn't find as many issues with the pattern this time as the other patterns. I kind of feel like he's giving me axolotl vibes. I don't know if it's the way I sewed on that flower or not, but definitely giving me those axolotl vibes. But this is the picture. This is how it turned out. Owen likes an open mouth like this, so I kept it that way. I definitely ended up having more than enough of the green color yarn and more than enough of the polyfill. This is all the polyfill I have left over. And of course, my needle is just about toast again on this project. But other than the fact that it doesn't really give you very good detailing on sewing again, and the buds on this part and all of that, I think this was the best project out of all 3 projects that I made. It had the most detail for crocheting. Like, it has single crochet, double crochet, teaches you kind of different techniques on using, and yeah, so I definitely would say this would be one of maybe the easier but more detailed patterns out of the 3 that we made. Sewing is pretty simple and straightforward, and the pattern was simple. Lots of pictures in the pattern again, extra supplies, so you don't worry about running out of yarn or anything like that for that project. So I feel like it was a successful project. And let me go ahead and show you Owen's project of his donut. So this is his finished donut, and he was helpful within the donut project. Here are some clips of him and I working together on the donut. Nice. Beautiful. Oh, that's awesome. You're doing a great job. Let me check. So do you remember what you do when you do it too loose, buddy? Can you tell them how you make it? Yeah, you pull it gently. You want me to check the count? How many more do you have to go, buddy? 2 more. Chain. Awesome, you did it. Got 22 chain. So now we have to connect that together. So I'll teach you. You go into the first chain.
Right here?
Yep. Then you're gonna wrap the yarn around.
And then take this and put it over.
So you want to wrap that. So you
do?
want to wrap this around your hook at the top, like you do, like you're doing a chain. And you're gonna pull them both.
Over it.
Go with the one that's closer first, and then do the other one after.
Oops.
That's okay. Go through. Go
here?
through.
Here?
Yep.
Here?
Yep. Pull that through the hole. Nope, that was right. Remember, bring your hand closer to the top of the hook if you want more control. There you go. Pull it through. Good. And yarn over or under, whichever you prefer. There you go. Good. Oh. There you go. Oh, dropped your yarn. Okay, pull it over, pull it over. There you go. Yep. Bring it bring your hand a little bit closer here. And then remember, you can use your hook to help you. There you go. Twist it, twist the hook. Twist it down a little bit. Yep. You got one. Okay. You get that with this one. So you're getting this one through. There you go. You did it. Yay! Good job. Nice. Okay, bring your hand a little bit closer up to the top of the hook so you have more control. There you go. Work. You're getting good control over it. Oh. And then what happens when you get, yep, just pull it a little bit tighter when it gets a little too loose. Good job. It's okay, just stick your hook back into it. You got it. Good stuffing. I almost like it better than our stuffing, huh?
It is better.
Softer, huh?
Yeah,
And so as you saw, he was working on it some. I probably did 95% of the donut and he did the other 5%, but that was plenty for me. He was learning different techniques and he was enjoying it. He does get frustrated easily, especially since whenever we work on it, it's later at night. So he's tired to begin with. So of course he's not focused in because he has school all day long or he's busy doing other things all day long. And then when he gets in the mood to crochet, it is usually right before bed. And so he doesn't have a whole lot of patience on doing it, but he is getting better at it. And this is the donut he has now. As you can see, he had me help him make this little smiley mouth. This is his favorite type of mouth he likes to make on projects. He draws these mouths and he always wants that happy, like big expression mouth with the tongue sticking out. So that is what we gave the donut out of this pink color and then the embroidery thread. We had enough to do all of that. The issue I had with the donut is the eye backings were too big for these specific eyes. And thankfully I have other backings for smaller projects and I was able to find a set that works to put on the eyes. But if I didn't have backup supplies like I do, I don't know how you would have been able to secure these eyes. You would have had to glue them into place or something because they were not going to get secured into the donut with what they provided. So that is something to be aware of when you are purchasing one of these kits, that the backings might not always be suitable for the project. But we definitely did have plenty of yarn. This is all the yarn we had left over after we finished our project. So lots of yarn, and this needle held up pretty good. We didn't have any issues. It didn't want to break on me or anything. None of the needles actually did end up breaking, but they were getting pretty flimsy towards the end on some of those projects. And all of the hooks were the same, nice. No issues with the hooks, especially with this type of yarn. And so he was pretty happy with his finished donut. And the fun thing is he discovered that you can put the little panda inside the little donut as so. And so he has actually been sleeping with these the past couple of nights. And he's been really enjoying this little creation. So he was pretty happy with the final creations. And I just did this one today, so he will come home and see the little cactus, and he can put this on his desk for decoration as well. So he was really happy with these finished projects. So is it worth getting one of these crochet kits? Absolutely. It was only $1.25 plus tax, and you have enough supplies to do your full project, maybe extra supplies to do something with afterwards. I know Owen wanted to make a mini donut with the extra supplies that he has here. And so I'll give him these yarns to go and play with and do different projects with. Was the yarn the best quality? No, but for $1.25, what are you expecting? It does like to split. It does like to fray if you use it, if you work with it too much. But it was really soft. It felt really soft on the hands. It just isn't the best quality yarn, which I wasn't expecting it to be. It's a $1.25 project. What do you expect? The hooks were decent. I didn't have any issues with the hooks. They're plastic, so they are a little bit more flimsy than a metal hook would be, but they worked fine. I didn't have any issues. Owen didn't seem to mind them. I have been having him work with a bigger yarn to get used to chaining with a bigger yarn. So the smaller yarn was a little bit more difficult for him, especially since it did split on him a bunch of times. That created a little bit of frustration. But if you have someone in your life that already has basic skills of crocheting and they're getting this kit, I think they would be okay with it. You just have to warn them ahead of time. It might split, just, work around that. Plenty of polyfill. I actually really did enjoy this quality of polyfill. I felt like it was nice on the fingers and it works up nice. I like this polyfill. I'd like to know where they got this polyfill because I kind of like it better than my own. The needles were flimsy and the second use is not gonna happen out of them, but for $1.25, you got the project done without it breaking, so that was decent. And the patterns, they weren't the best. I'll admit that. Patterns definitely were not the best, but they got the project done. Use a little bit of your artistic creativity to come up with the placement of it, and maybe look at the pictures a little bit more than reading of the instructions would be better. I don't think I saw any typos in the cactus pattern, but there were definitely typos in both the donut pattern and the panda pattern. But I was still able to understand as best I could the pattern, and those picture instructions were very helpful. Obviously, they don't have any video instructions or anywhere else to go through those instructions, so you do need some knowledge of reading a pattern and crocheting before you start this project. But I do feel like this would be fun if you have maybe a birthday party or sleepover or something with a bunch of people who do have some understanding of crochet, some younger kids that are crocheting, and they enjoy crocheting, and you want to give them something small and quick that they are able to create on their own. I think this would be a fun little project to have, a fun little party favor to receive that is definitely affordable. And you do end up with some cute things at the end. Are they perfect? No, but they are cute and I think kids are gonna love them. Like I said, Owen is in love with this. Ratings from the patterns, this I would rate the highest. It has the most amount of technique to practice and it was the easiest to sew together. And then I would go with the donut because it was pretty simple. Owen did enjoy doing the whip stitching to get the donut together. He did have trouble stuffing and everything. You can see it's kind of lumpy and whatnot, but he did enjoy learning that technique of whip stitching. This one would be definitely rated second in my book out of these three. I don't know what the other ones are like because I haven't done them, but yeah, this one definitely would be simpler. This one definitely took way more time than I thought it would take because of all the little pieces and then the sewing of it together. So this would be rated third in my book just because of how long it took me to make him. And I was very close to running out of yarn on this one. Where the other two, I had more than enough yarn. I didn't have to even worry about running out. So those are my thoughts on this project. I hope that you enjoyed watching this and maybe you can go try out your own kit. If you've tried out other crochet kits in the past, let me know which ones you've tried out. If you've tried out these, let me know which ones you tried out. And yeah, maybe I'll go ahead and buy a couple more of these to make and bring to you guys. It's a fun little change in routine because you can finish off a cute little project for only $1.25 plus tax. And look at them. They're cute, they're sweet, and the kiddo loves them. So was it worth it? Yes, I would say it was definitely worth it. And go ahead, get yourself a kit. The worst thing that could happen is it's not going to turn out like the picture. None of mine turned out like the picture. That is everything for today. So make sure to like and subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this. Let me know what you would like to see down in the comments. Maybe if you want to see me try out another different crochet kit, I could totally do that. I do plan on giving you kind of a crochet 101 video at some point. I know a few people have been asking me to give them tips and tricks on crocheting as a beginner. So I would love to bring that to you guys. And I will talk to you guys all on the next one. So talk to you later. Bye.